PopOff CEO and your 2024 Titan. You are now listening to Sarge on the Iron Elite podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. If you're not listening to the Iron Elite podcast, what are you really doing? Because we are talking motorcycles over here. You dig?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this your man Kodak, the most hated, coming to you live from the Iron Elite podcast with my man Big Sarge, where we always keep it motorcycles. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know what it is.
I know. Sarge, is motorcycling the only thing you talk about? Is motorcycling the only thing you care about? Nope, I care about the Jacksonville Jaguars too.
Hey, top of the afternoon, everybody, man. Welcome to the Iron Elite Podcast Show with your boy, Sarge. Man, it's Labor Day, man. It's a holiday. Hopefully, everybody's having a great day, spending time with your family and loved ones, man. And for my Three Flags Classic, my Iron Elite family, man, much love on that highway. Do your thing, man. Be safe. Can't wait to see you guys get back home and hear all the great stories that you guys had. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. Sarge was a little bit jealous, but I was hating. But hey, man, it's all good. But I got a great show for you guys today. Man, I got PopOff, man. We're going to be talking about Hoka Hey, man. What the heck? Hoka Hey, man, she did her thing, man, went all the way across the country and all kind of crazy stuff, man, and we're going to talk about it today. So do me a favor, man. Let everybody know we're on. Share it with a friend. We're getting ready to get this thing started, man. So, hey, here we go. K4L, what we doing? Let's go.
That's the other day. Hey, Sarge, why you never play any fast music on your podcast? It's simple. I'm petty.
Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up, big sword. You in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up, big sword. You in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Slide on my road glide, looking so fly, 20-inch rollback, screaming eagle torque pack. I-10 to the end, it's a known patch. If you ain't a ground pounder, pay attention, fall back. We Iron Elite boys, no need for hitting switches. We split lanes and hogging lanes, we on a mission. On our way to CA, we 100 deep. Hold the up, down the road, run it up, rip it up. Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up, big sword. You in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up, big sword. You in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? I'm outside with it. I scrape the town burning loud when the smoke clear up. You know I hardly did it. I'm real gnarly with it. My ride clean when it bling. I show the lean on the scene to get jiggy with it. No did it get it? I'm well equipped it. My bike side got a side, so you know I'm hit. She dropped it down and split it, backed it up to shift it. Let me kick a little game to you lames riding around here, giving a set a bad name. It don't matter what you rank or what you claim. When we turn it up, you keep it motorcycling, man. My soul brothers, they roll runners, we rolling deep. When it's time to rally up, it's Black Wall Street. When you see them MCs at the RTE, roll the up, down the road, run it up, rip it up. Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up, big sword. You in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig? Hurry up, don't truck it up, rev your motors up. If it ain't clean, get your polish up, big sword. You in charge, real king of the south. If you ain't getting yonder, gotta keep it motorcycle, you dig?
But Sarge, why you always gotta talk about motorcycling? Sarge, why you don't never talk about nothing else? Look here, man. If you gonna do all that crying, what the baby gonna do?
Hey, man, it's Harley up. Hey, man, we're rocking and rolling. We're ready to go, man. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody's having a great day out there. Hey, man, but today I got a special guest on. I'm going to see if I can wake her up. Man, there's a little bit of a time zone difference between us, man. They're all over they're on the other side of the world, man, but I'm going to see if I can grab her, wake her up, get her going, man, and let her introduce herself to everybody. Let me see what we got. Fam, how are you? Top of the evening? Is that about right?
It's evening out here.
Right on. Can we tell everybody where you at? Is it top secret? You got to keep everything quiet.
No, I'm in Europe. I'm in Germany.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. If you don't mind, for those couple people that don't know who you are, can you take a second to tell us who you are and a little bit about you?
PopOff. Everybody knows me as PopOff as far as the motorcycle set goes. Been riding for like 21 years since I was like a teenager. Grew up around bikes. My mom rode bikes. She still rides bikes. Been in the military for 20, almost 21 years. Next month will be 21. Been
Thank you for
retired.
your service.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Next year, that's it. I'll get the boots.
Right.
Other than that, I think riding. I travel a lot. I'm a big traveler. I love seeing the world, different things. I think the army opened my eyes to a lot of stuff too, being able to see different things. And I'm in my master's program right now. I
Oh,
literally got
wow.
four
Wow.
classes left.
Good for you. Good for you.
So that about sums it up, I think.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this, Popoff. Get everything you can get before you get out of there. Get everything. Hey,
Yeah,
everything you can get, I want it. Give it to me.
yeah.
Wow. So, hey, let me say this. Thank you for being on with us today. I know you have a busy schedule, a hectic schedule. So, thank you today, and thank you in advance for sharing this story that we're going to be talking about today. And for everybody that's on, if you don't mind, if you could just do us a favor, reach up, man, and hit the like button. Let's get the algorithms kind of moving along and things going on. And also, by the way, let people know that we're on, man. We're going to be talking about an epic topic today. We're going to be talking about traversing a couple countries, several mountains, weather, all kind of crazy stuff. So if you don't learn nothing about long distance motorcycle riding today, man, I ain't got nothing else for you, man. So we're finna get it started. So here we go. So I'm gonna tee this up, PopOff, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
A few years ago, my man K Solo, he my dog. That's Batman. K Solo started telling me about this thing called the Hoka Hey Challenge. I said, "What's that, man?" As he started describing this thing to me, man, bro, I ain't finna kill myself. Do this thing, man. No way. What? This many thousand miles in this many days across this far of the country with a paper map sleeping on the ground? No, homie, I don't know about that. I gotta think about that one. But here we are. So, Papa, if you don't mind, explain to us what is the Hoka Hey?
Okay, so the Hoka Hey, I also learned about it from Solo. Hanging around him, going to the ride to eat, and watching him the last few years actually participate in the challenge. So the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge is basically a individual challenge. All right, it's geared to test your endurance. It's going to test your physical. It's going to test your mental. It's going to test your probably your emotional. You're going to get in touch with God out there on the road, a little bit of everything. But it is a motorcycle challenge that is a minimum of 10,000 miles traversing uh, secondary roads for the most part. It's either back roads, secondary roads, very minimal use of the interstate, and they give you point by point direction through paper. So no use of GPS, no use of hotels. Yes, you're either on the ground. Whatever you bring with you to sleep in is what you got. So if all you brought was a cot, hey, you got a cot. You do that. It's going to provide checkpoints along the way. So I think we had we had three checkpoints. Arkansas, no, we had Wyoming, what was the other one? Montana, and then we had one in Alaska or in the Yukon. So we had four checkpoints along the way. But it's really something to test, I think, your endurance. Because a lot of us that ride or have ridden, especially if you say you ride long distance, we think we ride long distance, I think, until uh, you do this.
Yeah, I think you ride long distances till you start putting sleep deprivation into it. You start
Yeah.
looking at the totality of it, just the consistent day in and day out grind. So let's take it like this. Okay, I'm already say you kind of got the cheat code because you're in the military, and I know y'all PT and all this other stuff every day, so y'all keep in good condition. So I'm thinking, for okay, so how do you prepare for the Hoka Hey? Do you prepare physically? Do you prepare mentally? Is it like training for a marathon? How do you prepare for this thing?
So I know nothing about a marathon. I've only done a half marathon, and that was enough for me. I will say preparation. You really don't know what you're preparing for. You know, you like if you've ever like went and looked at the Hoka Hey website, it tells you the basics, like, hey, this is what you should have.
Yeah, I
Anything
don't
else,
tell you much about prepping. Tell you
hey,
what to pack. You know, a little bit on packing. Yeah,
you figure it out.
yeah.
I think one of the biggest prep tools that anybody can use that is interested in participating in the Hoka Hey is going to their events, going to K Solo Show's Ride to Eat, because that's where a lot of the riders show up. Going to the Taco Run in Medicine City, Oklahoma, going to her Rendezvous. I keep pronouncing it wrong. Going to Rendezvous, which is going to take place, I think, in Tennessee somewhere. It's taking place in Whiskey Country for 2025. Because you'll get to meet a lot of the riders. You'll get to interact with them. Everybody that I met prior to participate, even up until and throughout the entire ride, are very user friendly. They're very approachable. They're like real laid back. But to me, it was like going to those events is where you just want to be quiet and listen. Like I might have a story about my 40. I got a few stories from my 48 state run,
Right.
but these are females too that
Right.
have 100,000 miles in a year. You know,
Facts. Mm-hmm.
so them riding and then a lot of them have done it repetitively. I met one of the guys, Grandpa Truck. He's been doing it since the first challenge since 2010. So the knowledge that he has is beyond comparison to what my experience is after one year of riding.
So I think I gather. So the biggest thing to start is starting to get around people who do it
Yeah.
and trying to get the mental knowledge and the just trying to learn from their experience.
Because we see somebody do something and we think, oh, I can do that. That's too easy. I'm about to sign. Like I've seen, and I ain't gonna knock nobody. I don't know what anybody's capabilities of. I've seen so many people say, I'm signing up for 2026. I'm signing up for the next one. I'm gonna do the next one. I'm gonna do the next one. I think myself and Jamaica, we watched for the 2 challenges that Solo participated in. That I actually participated when I found out about it. So it's one of those things where it's definitely my dog making a lot of noise back here.
Oh,
It's
no, he's good. Yeah, you're good.
one of those things where you pay attention to what's going on in those events, see what they're doing and stuff like that. Like you really have to just get out there and ask questions. And sometimes the simplest advice is the one that we overanalyze.
Right.
And I got
Right.
the simplest advice from just about everybody that had participated before me.
But even with knowledge, okay, so now I'm hitting a circuit, whether it be the Ride to Eats, the Iron Elites, the Three Flag Classics, all of them, you name them. Getting all this knowledge, it still don't get you out of the physical pain and being mentally strong to deal with it. Because let's be honest, I don't care who you are, riding what you did, there's going to be many days of back aches, headaches, whatever. Would you suggest for a rider doing this, you've got to lock in and you've got to be mentally strong?
Definitely. I feel like you have to be able to tell yourself to keep going, and you also have to know when you're at your breaking point. And everybody's breaking point is different. And the breaking point might not be that you just stop and quit. It might be you take a longer rest break. Instead of 4 hours of sleep, you might need to take an extra 2 hours of sleep. I noticed that the deeper I got in, I started needing naps. Like I might have slept for 4 or 5 hours, but like I get 4 hours down the road and I'd have a long blink. It's like, nope, pull over.
Yeah.
You gotta tell yourself, pull over. Let me take this extra hour, 2 hours. Oh well. Instead of, it's not a race. That's the biggest thing people need to understand. It's not a race. It's not a competition. This is an individual challenge, and it's definitely going to test the mental. So many people. There's a few people that I saw via social media that either stopped on the ride or they said they couldn't continue. But what I noticed was they said I can't go on. I feel like mentally, as soon as you tell yourself you can't do something, you're not gonna
Oh
finish.
yeah, you out the game. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
out the game. As we talk about this, I'm thinking again. I'm thinking, okay, Pop Off is fair to say is healthy. She's a soldier, so she's healthy. You know, she's got a lot of riding experience. But then I'm thinking about the average Joe Blow, the average guy, the average girl, that might have, say, medical issues, might have, high blood pressure, might have diabetes, might have, some other things that come into play. I'm just trying to imagine, how do you put that together and be able to deal with the, maybe some of the medical setbacks and still be able to consistently function? Because again, you're not getting very much sleep. You're not, you're not eating the best food.
And
You
there are
know,
riders in the challenge that do have medical conditions. They're considered. So, could how do I say it without giving away anything? I will say the Hoka Hey challenge is not something that the rider has completed it is going to go recommend to somebody. The average rider, like it was never Solo never recommended it to me. Reef never recommended it to me. It wasn't recommended. It was something like, if you seek it out, if you want to do it, you're going to do the legwork. You're going to look into it. You're going to do the research. You're going to figure it out. You're going to push yourself to do it. But what I learned from the organizers, they'll tell us at our briefings, like there are individuals in the ride that have medical conditions. They might have low blood pressure. They might have diabetes. Some military, they might have PTSD. But they make that stuff aware to the organizers. So when they're having it on the road, you have direct contact with the organizers. And if you need help, resources for that. So you're not out there.
okay, yeah, okay.
So if you have those health conditions, if you ride already with those health conditions and you know how to mitigate those on the ride, it won't be as challenging for you to mitigate it during the challenge.
Okay, so the Hoka Hey challenge, it goes, what, is every 2 years, every other year?
Every 2 years.
Oh, okay, every 2 years. And is there a prerequisite? Is there you have to have a certain amount of miles, certain amount of riding experience, anything like that, before you can be approved for registration?
I'm not going to say there is a specific prerequisite. I am going to say the process from registering for us for the 2024, the registration, going through the interview process, the check and balance process, is one where they actually critique. And I say that because unfortunately in years past, they have lost riders on the ride. I think this year, by the grace of God, we did not actually have any fatalities on the 2024.
Yeah.
I know of thus far for 2024. So it's safe to say that they, with everything they changed, they adjust with, hey, what's needed. Hey, we did this. This is some things that we need to add to it. So we made some adjustments for 2024 where they did dig a little deeper into your writing. You don't want somebody that went out there and did the IBA 3 weeks before the challenge and think that they can ride 10 days straight. At least 10 days straight.
And I want to be serious about this. For viewers that's listening in, and for future viewers that'll be listening to this show later on down the line, this is the purpose of this show today is not to promote for everybody to go out there and do this. Actually, I prefer, most don't do this unless you really know what you're doing. You're a very experienced rider, and I'm gonna say, and these are my words, and be in pretty dang good shape. Because it is a challenge, and it's it's physically and mentally taxing. So I want to make that being known that Sarge is not out here saying, hey, man, sign up for 2026 and get it. No. We're not going to do that at all. But the actual mileage for the event, what is it? Is it a minimum 9 days? What, 11,000 or 10,000?
Minimum day out this year. It used to be a minimum of 10 days, 10,000 miles. As everybody knows, 2022, I think a couple of the riders were there really in like 9 days and had to sleep on the other side.
Yeah.
On the other side of the finish line. So
I think Solo did that. He got there early.
Yeah, they got there early. They literally had to sleep like 5 minutes from the finish line because they were there too early. This year, I can't remember how fast the guy got there on the pen. This was his first year, and he won on he finished first on a Pan American. But I don't know if he got there in 8 days or if he got there in 9. I know he got there pretty quick.
Hey, let me ask you, since you brought something up, bikes.
They gotta be
I'm not going to endorse no particular model. I'm a rock a Harley. I'm just saying that, but I'm not endorsing no particular make. What after experiencing a ride, what would you prefer to make that ride? If you were making that ride again, what would you prefer to ride that ride on? Would you road on or something different?
So I did half and half. I did half on my road glide, half on my Pan American. I am going to say for this year's particular route, and people got to understand the route changes every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
If people are looking to do the Hoka Hey and think they're going to Alaska in 2026, it'll be a whole different route. It's probably not going, most likely not going to Alaska. For this particular ride, the Pan America was perfect for what we experienced from the Yukon up.
Okay.
Right. It was perfect for that. It was even perfect for the mountains. I want to say the majority of the bikes that I wish I could have got a number. A majority of the bikes represented were definitely Harleys. And I'm going to say majority of them were road glides. I can say I saw a lot of road glides, but one of the other requirements I didn't mention is it has to be American. So we have
cool. Oh, okay.
In Victory to choose from.
Okay. Is it a certain CC bike that it has to be, or?
I mean, there's on Road Kings. I think there was a couple of sports glides. I think there's been some riders that have done it on Fat Boys before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody's done it on a Sportster.
Oh man, you better knock it off.
Yeah, you can't carry.
You rest in peace. You're behind, bro.
I keep forgetting some stuff, but you can't carry no extra fuel either. So
you can't carry what now?
Can't carry extra fuel. Like you can't carry fuel.
Yeah.
You can't have an auxiliary tank. Like there's a couple riders that have it because they do a lot of the IBA rallies, but they're not allowed to fill it up for this particular challenge. Like we're not allowed to carry fuel cans. We're not allowed to have the auxiliary tanks and stuff like that. Okay,
so the route. Let's talk about it. So we from what, one end all the way to the other end. What was our route? Well, let's put it this way. What was our starting point, and what was the ending point?
Our starting point was Daytona Beach, California, or Florida. I said California.
Florida, okay.
Daytona Beach, Florida. Right there, Destination Harley in Daytona, by way of Key West, because we went down first.
Okay.
Homer, Alaska.
Wow.
And it's crazy because like when you look at the actual distance, like if you were to do straight line distance, like say Daytona straight to Homer, Alaska, it's probably half. I think it's about 5,000 miles and some change, versus how you can see how we navigated and traversed through a bunch of additional states to make it the equivalent of about 10,000 miles.
Okay, Daytona, from Daytona to Key West, from Key West to Homer, Alaska, via all over the United States doing this. So take the viewers into this. Say, okay, the first day coming out the gate, I would get a paper map, and it will give me my first leg. Is that how it works?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. For some of you whippersnappers that can't read maps, man, y'all gonna be in trouble. So
It's not a map. It's not a map. You're getting point by point directions. It's
Oh,
written
it's
out.
point by point. Oh,
If depending on the generations of viewers you got, they got to go back to old school MapQuest directions. Something similar to that.
oh, okay, like MapQuest, like 16 miles on I-10 and then 20. Holy moly! Yeah, that's a minute.
Very, very similar to that.
Yeah, so you studying that map in detail before you even take out the gate.
But you don't get it till you're getting ready to get out the gate.
Oh, okay. Okay. I know a lot of people got lost, man. I ain't even playing with it. I know there's a lot of turning around.
I'm gonna tell you, when they first handed it, I can say it now. When they first handed us our initial directions, it was thick. I think I looked at my sis like, what the hell did we just get ourselves into? And then it was front to back. So it was like, oh snap, like we ain't even out of Florida yet.
Yeah.
But it is it can be a shocker, an initial shock. Because like you don't go in, and the biggest thing is like you don't want to give people too much of it because you want them to experience it. The whole point is
Right.
If I tell you,
And we don't have to be very detailed. We can talk vaguely about it. Yeah.
like
So
yeah.
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Step directions, step by step.
Step by step. So, okay. Now for you guys, coming at the gate, because I know during the time that you guys were down when you guys started the Hoka Hey, there was a hurricane down in Florida. It was coming up the Gulf of Mexico, and it was kicking up dust everywhere. What was your plan for that? How did you had to look and say, hey, let me get ahead of the storm.
There was so many riders that was just like, so they not gonna change the route. Like people was anticipating, like, okay, maybe they're gonna adjust. Man, there was no adjustment. It was like, hey, either sleep it out. I will say one of the biggest organizational factors that I loved about the Hoka Hey was that they had a designated phone number that provided us text messages that gave us. So if it was a safety alert, if it was like, hey, hunker down, it's a hurricane, wait out the storm, it's okay. You're trying to convince people you don't have to rush. You don't want to get in the mindset that you're trying to keep up with the crowd. Because ultimately the first day was the splitting factor. They said that's when it like split into two groups. You saw the ones that kept riding through the hurricanes and the ones that waited out the storm, and it became like almost two separate groups that you're watching on the track. But they were very organized with giving us like road notifications if there was closures, if there was delays, weather delays, anything of that nature that happened along the route. That was one of the best resources that they gave us that I think they did an awesome job on.
So you guys wasn't able to use weather apps. You just had to use the text alert line.
I turned on my radar and looked, and you see a hurricane. The night before. It's funny because the night before the hurricane supposedly was not going to touch down in Key West or in the lower part of Florida. It was going to come across like I think middle central Florida.
The Big Bend coming around the Panhandle area, I think.
We all know if you've ever lived in Florida, if you've ever lived in the Gulf, hurricanes,
you're gonna catch what it's gonna do, homie. Yeah,
you're gonna catch hail. You're gonna catch something. So the day we took off was the day Hurricane Debby was touching down in Key West. So we was riding directly into it, and then as it's spinning, it's coming back around across Florida and Georgia. So we rode through all of Florida in a hurricane.
Holy. Hey, just something to get you motivated taking out the gate. Just something to just throw a little something on you.
Because my first thought process, I was just like, I lived in Florida. I used to live in Northwest Florida for about 8 years. I know for a fact to get from Crestview, Florida, or to get from Miami to Crestview, Florida is at least 10 hours. So in my head, my thought process was, I got to be out of Florida in the first day. Like, I can't be like, that was my motivational thing. Man, it took us a day and a half to get out.
And, most people don't know. They think Florida's a small state. Florida is long, man. If you're coming from Key West all the way across the Panhandle, it will go forever. Florida's very long state. But let's do this real quick, Pop-Off, if you don't mind. Hey, man, shout out to Vernon Powell. Bolo, appreciate you being on with us today, man. Cartwright, The Road King. Good afternoon, family. I got appreciate you guys, man. Jimmy want to know already. Will you ride? Okay. Jimmy want to know.
I actually have thought, because people was asking us that on the ride, and I was like, let me get to the finish first. But after actually making it through the challenge, I wouldn't mind doing it again.
Holy.
I know
Okay.
we'll be back to Alaska.
Oh wow, that's what's up. Hey, so the first day we had to worry about being dehydrated. We had plenty of water to drink on the highway, so we're doing these turn by turn. So the first day you said it took you what, a day and a half to get out of Florida with the different things that they had for you guys.
With the route and everything that was going on, especially with the hurricane and getting rained on, and the winds, it took us about a day and a half to get out of Florida before we finally made it to Georgia.
Wow. So so on the ride so you guys didn't even know what states you were going to be going through, except the day of, or
not necessarily. Like, so the Alaska route was done in 2010. That was the first challenge. So some of the guys previously knew similar what the route was. We were already told that, hey, it was basically similar to the route that took place in 2010. Obviously, we didn't participate in 2010, so we didn't know what states we were going to be going through. We could anticipate the mountain ranges, we could anticipate the national parks, we could anticipate the forests, those things. We knew our checkpoints. So we knew we were going to go through some state to get to that checkpoint, and so states to get to the next checkpoint, and so on and so forth. But that was really about it. So you look at the directions, and you're like, oh, okay, we're going to cross into Arkansas.
That's a big deal, because now, again, we're looking at the ride was just last month. Am I correct? August? Was it August or July?
Just a few days ago.
Okay, just a few days ago. So, down south is really, really hot, but we know as you're traversing mountains and then you're getting farther and farther up north, it just changes. You probably started in Key West in the 90s, and, a few days into this thing, man, you're probably looking, 30? What was the coldest temperature on the ride for you?
The coldest temperature, I think it got down to, once you get outside of the United States, they use Celsius. So 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees in the United States. So it was about, I want to say, once we got to the Yukon into Alaska, it started getting pretty cold.
Yeah.
Obviously we had the rain, but it wasn't really cold until I left Alaska, or until I was leaving Alaska. Was when it got really.
Okay. So, because I was thinking that, okay, so I think you told me, you said I guess they don't really do your packing list. They tell you what you might need.
Yeah, they give you the basics. Like if you look on their website, it said for 2024, it said make sure you have your passport, driver's license, registration, insurance. I think everybody had the blue tape on the bike, the engineer tape or whatever you want to call it, some 100-mile-an-hour tape or something like that. Like, they gave you very vague, but what you pack on your bike is essentially what
they didn't say heated gear and all that stuff. They didn't say that. They didn't say a sleeping bag or that. You just have to figure that out.
You figure that out.
Okay. Man, I got so many questions. Okay. So again, because we're sleeping, we can't sleep in hotels, right? We have to sleep outside.
Yep.
So either a park bench or a park or a Love's truck stop, or can you sleep in like a Love's?
It was so funny. I've slept in Love. I've pitched my tent in Love parking lot for years. Because if you can park a car there, you can park a truck there and go to sleep. I can park my motorcycle and pop a tent. That's how I feel. I've never had it. But it was so funny. I think one of our first nights in Georgia, or the second night, I can't remember, because I think the first night we just slept on our bikes. The second night in Georgia, when everybody's finally getting out of the hurricane way, we pulled off to a gas stop, and there was like 10, 15 tents on the backside of the gas stop. So we was like, we can sleep here. So you knew
We
where
done turned
everybody,
the whole tent city, huh?
yeah, like, cause it was
Yeah.
like that gas station across the street. Like everybody had already parked their bikes,
Wow.
and stuff like that. So loves gas stops. You find a empty lot on the side of the road. I guess there's some people I seen like their pictures and they had some great like camping spots, but they went and looked for some camping spots. I'm just looking for the closest thing to the road that's not gonna have me off
You
track.
ain't lying. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we have it in the thumbnail where you were at the gas pump. I didn't know what was going on with that.
So we were
Hey,
doing
when you
that.
tired, you tired, huh?
And we got to that gas station. One, it's funny because we spent probably about 20 minutes looking for a road that was unmarked. So it was frustrating, but then we pulled into like a Walmart parking lot and there was like crackheads walking around. So we was like, we
Yeah.
definitely here.
Wow, yeah.
And by the time we made it to the road that we were looking for, the first pull off that I saw was this gas station, and then it was closed. I was just like, so I'm about to just pull out my chair. I don't even feel like putting together my cot. I'm not pulling out the tent. I don't care about a sleep bag. It's not hot. Like literally, I pulled out my folding chair. I sat in my chair and I put my feet across my bike, and we about to sleep right here. That's it.
Wow. Wow. Man, that's when it gets that's when it gets for real, for real. Because man, most of us a day or two, we'll probably be able to rough it. But when you're doing that in succession just over and over and over, where quality sleep starts to become really important after a while, you get a little antsy, little crabby, little cranky. Is that true?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
I get cranky when I didn't have food and when I felt dirty. Like not just
Yeah.
being when I actually started to feel dirty, it was like, but I was almost like I kind of like feel like I was probably like the bougie Hoka Hey because
Okay.
a couple of the guys would be like, I'd be like, man, I stopped at the pilot and took a shower. They was like, you took a shower. I was just like, in my head, I'm like, so you haven't? Like, yeah, I'm taking a shower. Like, thank you. I got a couple of folks that are some truckers. They were just like, hey, free showers. Here's my thing. I'm like, thank you. I was rolling like, yep. Every time I saw the heart, like, yep, I'm about to go take a shower.
I know that's right. Hey, your boy Sarge done went some days without showering. And it's my Iraq, Afghanistan days for 30 days, but I ain't doing that mess no more. No, sir.
Not take a shower. We gonna find the loves a pilot.
Yeah. We gotta clean it up. Yeah.
So,
just for peace. It's just to me in a situation like that, it just gives you you rejuvenated. You just feel okay. That's it is what it is. So okay, so was there like again without giving any particular details? Did they want you off the road after a certain time of night, or you could ride all night long? That was just up to you, huh?
That was up to you. They wanted you to be safe. The biggest thing was they did tell us safety. Be safe. Be safe. They continued to stress that it was not a race. So it wasn't something that you felt like you shouldn't have felt like you needed to keep up with the pack. I can understand some people's fear of not wanting to be the only person out there because there was a few days I didn't see another motorcycle rider. It was just, and it was just like, dang, am I even on the right track? So like I can understand some people wanting to keep up with somebody else, so at least they have another motorcycle in their eyesight or they're around somebody else, especially when you start to get at night. But ultimately, I didn't have any issues. But I'm the type of person like I have traveling at night. And I have, like I said, I have no problem popping a 10 at a Love's gas station.
Okay. So I'm still thinking. So everybody had the same route, right? It was just, how you decided to manipulate the route. I mean, not manipulate the route, how you decided to your legs, your time, how you want to run it, but everybody was on the same route.
Yep.
And then say that for the ride, say if you got off the route and you got really way off the beaten path? Would somebody reach out and say, "Yo, you
I
you
heard
way out the way"?
out. I think I've made one, two, three, four. I made 4 or 5 major, like just off the route for maybe 40. There was one time I was off the route for 80 miles. I ain't get it wrong.
Holy,
So
yeah.
I was 160-mile uh, uh,
Traveling
mistake,
adventure.
right? But I heard that they will call and eventually reach out to you and be like, hey, you need to go back to this point, or hey, you need to check your map or your directions because you might not be on the right trail. But I didn't get any of those phone calls. So I felt like I did pretty good because I didn't get the phone call. But also, I do know there was a few times I made some mistakes that where it's just like, after I corrected myself, course correct, I was upset in the middle of correcting myself because that was the gas tank. But at the same time, afterwards, it was just like, you idiot. I can laugh at the helmet, but yeah, they won't let you get. I heard they won't let you get too far off track. What too far off track is, I
Yeah.
don't know, because I didn't experience that.
Okay, so because we're going such a great distance, we're going over 10 grand. Obviously, there's going to have to be some maintenance planned in. So you plan all your maintenance. They don't tell you, okay, at this time we're going to be breaking down for maintenance is on you. Am I correct?
So I think the one of the other good things about the Hoka Hey, they partnered with our checkpoints were Harley dealerships.
Okay.
Indians, it was kind of like, I think our checkpoints had like an Indian around there, luckily, because oftentimes, sometimes when you see an Indian dealership, there's always a Harley somewhere close by, or
Right.
vice versa. But you very rarely see Indians. But what they also did was like reach out to people in those areas to see what other motorcycle shops or whatever that can properly serve the bike. Because Harley obviously isn't going to touch an Indian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they'll touch a Victory. So it's like you got to kind of coordinate that yourself. But do you want to wait till you get services at the checkpoint where everybody's trying to get services?
Yeah.
There was one of the checkpoints was I want to say selfless enough to leave tools out. So like if people were coming to do their oil change, they left like the drip pans and stuff like that
Wow.
out. They can change their oil if they came in the middle of the night. Each of the checkpoints had a period of 3 days where they ran 24-hour ops. But if you didn't get there within those 3 days, you kind of had to coordinate with that dealership, like, hey, I'm coming in, I need this. Like I think I got to my first checkpoint and I had to call ahead. I just wanted to make sure. I said, hey, I got a 2010 robot. I had a slow leak in my front tire. So brand new tire. I had already like 3,000 miles in, had to replace the tire.
Wow. Mm.
So you got to plan for the unexpected, obviously. You got to plan for your services yourself, whether you get your services right before and you're the person that waits 10,000 miles till you get to the destination to find it. You got to also realize our end destination was still, the Harley dealership was still 300 miles back in Anchorage. So we ended in Homer. You still got to go back to Anchorage to do your service or Fairbanks or whatever. So it's like those things to consider. So they give you the check, it gives you the opportunity to kind of plan what you're going to do. A lot of those riders can do the basic maintenance themselves on their bike. So if it's an oil change, hey, they can probably drop a freehold.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If they were leaving drip pans and those things, around, I imagine that the dealership would be pretty cool with even taking the oil.
And then I know one of the dealerships, Wyoming, he came in. I think I got to his dealership. I think either a Saturday or a Sunday, and my rain get split in the center of my pants. And the owner happened to just come in. I was like, "Can I buy some wet weather gear?" He was like, "Yeah, of course." So they understood it, and then he was a previous Hoka Hey finisher.
Oh, okay.
He was already abreast of what the challenge entails and stuff like that. But like if you needed to do services, they were kind of convenient. They knew you were coming. They knew there was so many people there coming through, and they were willing to work with you, which was a cool thing. So the hospitality was amazing at those few Harley places that we went through.
Very cool. So I saw on the route. As a matter of fact, I was even on K Solo's YouTube. He was doing simulcasts of you guys when you were riding, and it was really cool. He was tracking the riders, and we could see you guys moving along on the digital map. So it was very cool. So I was watching people. Sometimes we watch a motorcycle icon go around in circles and circles and circles. Yeah, it's one of them type of things. So very cool stuff. So obviously, in a ride like this, there's always the good, the bad, the downright ugly. Because we know motorcycles, I don't care how much maintenance you do, it's going to be something sometimes that's going to get you.
Yeah.
What happened? I saw something going. I know you started off with a road glide. I ain't see you finish with a road glide. What happened with that?
Me and California Rain have been through it. I've had California Rain since 2012. It's a 2010 road glide. She got a new motor back in 2020 when I got stranded in Montana. I will say you just got to be mindful that work on your bike, man. You know, I had some issues with California Rain where she went down, and I came from Europe to participate in this challenge. My thought process was I had to finish. And I wanted to finish. And it was my first time going to Alaska. So it was about getting another bike and being able to get back on it, and then getting an American bike, because one of the places wanted to give me a BMW. I said, yeah, that's not gonna work, man. I can't.
No, we ain't doing that here, homie.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing to me. The resources that you have, you can feel like, man, I don't have the resources for this, but it's so many other people that have resources. And my network, I feel like thrived. It grew tremendously just to thrive, because in that moment, I think I was frustrated. I was irritated because I'm like, I don't put money into this bike to prepare for this for the last 2 years. There shouldn't have been nothing wrong with the bike. And then to get to that point, I had people that were like, what do you need? And before I just said, my bike is down and this is where I'm at. And before I can even get my thoughts together, I had people like Snacks reaching out to me like, hey, this person can do this. My sister Fire was like, hey, this person's gonna do this. You know, Solo had called Gorilla Blue, and Gorilla Blue came and picked me and my bike up. You know, got us to a safe destination. My bike is at the dealership in Vegas. It's getting looked at and probably getting taken apart and put back together, because I ain't get rid of my bike. I said, don't even offer me to trade it in. Don't offer to sell it. It's cheaper to keep it. So just let me know what it is. But got a bike and then got back on track. The biggest thing is like people easily get discouraged. You know, like something goes wrong. It's just like, all right, you guys, I'm out. My bike went down. You know, it's easy to say that, but if you don't have the additional means, then it's easy to say that. But if you have, I think I had a good group of a support system behind me that was like, wouldn't let me beat myself up too much. You know, like one, I didn't want to beat myself up, but they didn't let me stay down like more than a couple minutes. I think I got the scope for maybe like 5-10 minutes, and then everybody would just tell me, go to sleep. When you wake up, we'll figure it out.
Take a nap and we'll work it. I saw in the post, you made the post. I saw what was going on with the bike. But I ain't gonna lie, I kind of cheered, man, when I saw you say, hey, we gonna keep this thing going. The party ain't gonna stop, can't stop, won't stop. And I saw you jump out, getting it going, and then you were doing a tutorial on the Pan America as you were doing it. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all know about this bike if it's real for real. But
yeah,
I
wanted an adventure bike, so that was gonna be my next purchase anyway. But I was always scared of the Pan America because of how high it's set.
They are too. Yeah.
So I didn't think I could ride it. So, you know, I had to get like coaching from Snacks.
Yeah.
Like she was telling me, hey, we're about the same height. I can ride it. She rode, she rode her Pan American from the top of Alaska to the
Oh,
bottom.
no doubt. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be having her on here in a few. Hey, what? Matter of fact, I kept her Pan American for a little while this year, and I ain't gonna lie, I did look at it. It was pretty high, and I'm looking at little old snacks, but hey, she'll ride the daylights out of that bad boy.
Hey,
And I think
even
it's with the seat, isn't it? Is it something with the seat?
so it's the seat and the adjustment. So the one that I had, it was a 24 special. So it adjusts. When you stop, it lowers. And then when you shift in the first gear and you're ready to take off, it'll raise back up.
Oh,
And then
nice.
it's position. There's 2 positions on the bike. Snacks taught me that too, because I learned that when I first got the bike, it was in the wrong position. So I was sitting even higher than I needed to be. So I was nervous about leaning the bike because, 900 pound road glide, loaded about 1,000 pound bike. And then you get on this 500 pound bike and I was scared to lean it the opposite direction. I thought I was going to drop it or throw it.
I was thinking about that because, here you are, you're riding a full bagger, doing your thing, and now all of a sudden I have to transition into this. Back when I was a kid, we used to call them enduros, the road street bikes. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
How was that change for you? I mean, were you able to just transition no problem, or you were like, kind of, it took a little while to get into the game with this thing?
I'm gonna tell you, before I left with the bike, they had to, because I couldn't figure out how to get the kickstand up.
Okay.
They had to attach a bungee cord to the kickstand to the saddlebag, so I can lean the bike a little bit and then snatch the kickstand up.
Really?
Yes, but after so many gas stops, I didn't need the bungee cord anymore. So I figured out how to lean the bike and everything. But
I wish you would have posted a picture of that.
I feel like
Hey man, get it done at all means, by all means. That's wild.
I feel like I should have too, because it's one of those things like nobody's gonna believe this because they ain't see it, But it's like, they'll tell you. They were just like, they was looking at me like, "Are you sure you want this bike?" I'm like, "It's already loaded, so we're gonna have to figure it out."
Yeah.
So like trying to learn to trust myself to lean the bike to the right was the thing that I had to learn. So like in the first few gas stops, I got confident enough to lean it to the right and know that my foot was going to touch the ground to get the kickstand up. But initially they had a bungee cord attached to the kickstand into the saddlebag, had it wrapped around the little painter or whatever you want to call it.
Wow.
I leaned it just enough to snatch the kickstand up.
Wow. I'm just still tripping because okay, your road glide. Do you ride with custom bars or you ride stock bars on the road glide?
They're custom. They're 14s.
So give me 1 second. So custom bars on the road glide. Now I go to this bike where just it's probably more. Is it waist or shoulders more driven when you ride? Because I'm sitting on top of a tank. I mean, I'm kind of leaning over the tank, or is it I can ride this bike straight up and down like I'm doing a bagger?
So I always used to wonder why people on adventure bikes set up so straight. Like they have the perfect body position. Because I'm a motorcycle player. They have the absolute perfect body position. But it was just like, why do they sit like that? Because I rode sports bikes, we laid on the tank, right? Versus on the enduro bikes, you're actually sitting up straight. Your body posture is better. I felt like switching from my road glide, we have a tendency, it's almost like we sitting on the couch. So we'll slouch a little bit. So our back is never really straight. It's always kind of arched or whatever.
Right.
So we got a backrest, but having that adequate amount of back support that you should have, you probably don't get it on road glides and road kings and stuff of that nature. But I felt like I had a better body positioning on the adventure bike, on the Pan American, but it took some getting used to because now my body has to adjust from what it's used to sitting on versus now I'm sitting upright like this.
Right, yeah.
Opposed to me used to being sitting back like this, So it took a adjustment.
I got Marine Corps back issues. I'm gonna leave it like that. So for me, sitting straight up actually is more comfortable than leaning back for me. So, wow, that's interesting, man. I'm gonna test drive with them bad boys. I'm gonna pull it out.
everything that I said about the Pan America, my experience, I don't know if I just got a dud because supposedly they were supposed to have worked out all the kinks on the Pan America, and for that to be a 24 and me have the issues that I had, even Harley and Vegas was surprised. They were just like they were supposed to work all this stuff out, all the issues that you had, and then even when I showed them the video from the last one, because the last time it shut down on me, I was like, I'm about to videotape this because ain't nobody gonna believe this crap, and it literally.
Because you was having what? You were having stator issues and some other.
I think it had rectifier and battery issues. The battery is extremely small on the Pan America.
Okay.
In the charging system, it couldn't handle. Once I disconnected the tracker, because the tracker was the big thing that was draining the battery initially. But once I disconnected the tracker, it could not handle me having heated gear plugged in and running high beam. Like it just. And the last shutdown was after we had disconnected the tracker and switched out put a new battery in.
So you think a bigger battery would have been a solution to that?
For a bike that size, yes.
Yeah.
They need a bigger battery. And I'm not, again, I don't know if I just got a dud of a bike or what the thing was, especially 24, they were supposed to work out all those kinks. But like I told the guy, I said, man, I got the bike with 10 miles on it, and I brought it back to you with almost 10,000 miles on it. So it's broken in. So you definitely learned some things from this bike. But I wouldn't discourage anybody from getting it. I would just encourage people to look into the pre-existing possible issues that might arise when you have the battery, the rectifier, because I want to say the rectifier is a Sportster rectifier. Like, why would you put a Sportster park on a bike that's meant to go long distance?
Yeah.
That logic doesn't make sense. I want to be on their marketing team.
Matter of fact, I think when I have snacks on, that's interesting. I'm gonna talk to her about her. I think she's had hers probably a year, a little over a year, 2 years.
She was the first year. She bought the very first one. Started in 2021, so she was the first.
Because she rides that thing all over the planet, man. So let me do this real quick. So when I'm looking at this, where am I at here?
I was in the Yukon.
You didn't seem like you was in a hurry. Hey, them roads up there serious, aren't they?
They are. They are something serious. Like, one, I was excited because I had told a bunch of the riders, I said, I want to see buffalo. Like, as many times I've been through South Dakota.
Is that what we're looking at on the side of the grass? Yeah. Buffalo taking a nap, hanging out?
Those are buffalo.
Okay.
And that was my biggest thing. I wanted to see buffalo. And when we went through South Dakota, I didn't see any buffalo. And then there was a sign that told us at mile marker such and such, buffalo in the road, be cautious. So I rushed to get to that mile marker. There was no buffalo there. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
Like, it got night. I finally pulled over. I slept. I woke up the next morning, and this was just at sunrise. Like, the sun had just came up. And it just so happened at that point of the day, and you see, I'm on the wrong side of the road, right?
Yeah, I saw you gave much room. Yeah, good idea. Yeah.
But like that particular time of the day on that road, that was the first time I was on a road literally by myself. Like, I looked around in my side view mirrors. There wasn't a car, a truck, a camper, nothing coming towards me, nothing coming behind me. I'm like, the one time I do get to see buffalo is where there is no one else around me. Like, no type of, I don't know, protection or oversight or something.
Did you think about that when did you do much night riding? I'm sure you did.
Oh,
yeah. Did you think about those particular things? I don't know how buffalo run. I don't know if they take a nap at 9 o'clock or whatever, but is that something that you really considered? Because now we're in the Yukon. What are we dealing with? Caribou, we're dealing with buffalo, we're dealing with
all the caribou were dead. They was kicked up on the side of the road. They had
the caribou were dead?
Yeah, they had been struck or something. It wasn't me. But whatever they do, it was this one part of the road. I wanted to call it Caribou Alley because I looked at first, I thought it was a tree branch or something. And I looked and it was 4 legs kicked up. And I was like, dang, that's a wide torso.
Right.
And then more up the road, there's another one. I was just like, so they don't know how to stay out the road? Okay. But the Yukon has deer sign, elk sign, caribou, moose sign, bear sign, and buffalo
Wow.
was all the signs that I've seen. I wasn't quick enough on the trigger when it came to taking pictures of the bears because they would. It was funny because they walk slowly across the street too. Like they walk like, I wish you would, you know. But I saw about 4 or 5 black bear. I saw one bear. I think it was a brown bear, but I think it was a baby because he was still half brown, half tan, still kind of
Right.
fuzzy. But he was playing in the grass.
So do you have? Okay. All right. So I'm thinking again. I'm thinking of this kind of wildlife. In and out the road doing this thing or whatever. Then I'm thinking of a woman by herself in the middle of nowhere, around this kind of nature. Did you have? Did they tell you about? Okay, this is how you maneuver in the road when you're dealing with a bear and just walking across the road slow. What's the tactic for that? I don't know.
So there was one of the riders. He was actually from Alaska, and he had explained the black bears are skittish. They're more scared of you than you are of it. The grizzly bears, he was like, you most likely won't come in contact with because they're higher up in the mountains, but they're more dangerous and they're more vicious. They're known to be more
That's
vicious.
facts. Mm-hmm.
So my biggest thing was like, I didn't want to see a grizzly bear. So when I saw that little brown furry one, I knew there had to be a big brown furry one somewhere.
You don't have an issue. You didn't have an issue with maybe. I'd imagine the bears are so used to vehicles and stuff. It's not like they're coming and chasing, vehicles or charging vehicles unless you're
And they
agitating them.
didn't pay me any attention. I went past bears and they were on the side of the road, but one of the locals in the Yukon told me, oh, they eat when the grass grows out, they eat the grass on the side of the road. So that seemed to be what they were doing. So they weren't paying me no attention. I was probably more in awe of them than they were of me.
So I'm still thinking PopOff. Now there's from my math, and hopefully my math is mathing. I don't think there were no more than 6 African American females that registered for the Hoka Hey. Am I correct?
Correct.
I think it was 6. Only 6 that I remember. Was there any other women riding in the Hoka Hey?
Oh yeah, there was.
So there was a lot of women riding in the Hoka Hey.
I don't have the exact number yet.
Yeah.
But I want to say they said that was probably like the largest amount of women they had registered.
I don't remember when 2 years ago. I don't remember it being as many women as I've seen this time. And by the way, women of color, I ain't never really seen none of that. So when I seen what you guys were doing, what you guys were, I seen 1 or 2 here or there. I think a couple years ago, I want to say it was
Thundercat,
and it was it Kinky? Was it Kinky Black that did it 2 years ago? I've seen a couple, but to see a group like you guys and it was all out there for everybody to see. And I'm just gonna say this: shout out to you guys. Just to have the courage to be able to attempt this thing and put it out there in front of to the whole entire world, because we were looking. We were looking, and as you guys were going on doing your thing, I was like, "Hey, man, you got to salute them, man. That is some awesome stuff." So I just want to kind of throw that out there to you. So we're pushing on. We're going through the Yukon, and okay, so we get up to Alaska. That's the finishing point. Am I correct?
Homer, Alaska. Yeah.
Homer, Alaska. Okay, so if you don't mind, take me through that. What was your feeling when you finally made it to Homer, Alaska? What was the feeling? Did you feel like you were 10 feet tall and I wish a mug would say anything to me ever again?
You know what I felt? I felt like in that moment of making it to Alaska, I felt like anybody that has went to Alaska and they only went to Hyder, Alaska, need to redo their trip. That's how I felt. Because you didn't touch the Alcan. You didn't touch the Alaska Highway.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, because I think from where the Alcan starts to where Hyder, Alaska is 669 kilometers. That's like roughly 40 miles and some change. I feel like I actually went through Alaska. Like, I was excited going because I was in Alaska. This was my first time in Alaska. This was my 49th state, and it's the 49th state.
Nice.
And then I made it to the finish line. I was like, I really made it to the finish line. Like I'm actually here. Like, because for a minute, there were certain things that was going on where it was just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, am I not supposed to be doing this right now? Like, God just send me the text message and let me know opposed to throwing all these loopholes. Like, there's certain points where it just felt it could have been very discouraging, but it was just like I was too determined to want to finish. But getting to that finish line just felt surreal. Um, Being able to just, I'm actually like, I rode through Alaska. They sent us through Fairbanks, Denali Forest, Anchorage, and then you got to hit all the islands down in between to get down to Homer. So
Wow.
we went,
So yeah, you did it for real, for real. Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause wow. I'm just as you're speaking about it, I'm just kind of putting myself in your shoes. I'm just thinking to myself, you just did something that less than the 1%, the 1% is ever done on a motorcycle.
And a lot of the riders a couple of days before me experienced winds of, I think they said up to 120 miles an hour in Denali.
Wow.
When I went through the Denali Forest, I think the winds were still at like 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
Even the lady at the gas station was like, yeah, her and her husband had to help a couple of riders pull their bikes back out of the ditch because the wind had
The
pushed
wind
them.
took them over the ditch. Wow.
So in my head, I'm on this bike. I'm like, just don't push me in
Yeah.
front of a city line and don't push me into the ditch.
Because you're on
Like,
a lighter bike now. Because you're on a lot lighter bike at this time. And
it
yeah.
was wind. It was nothing but wind. And the rider, like just a couple of days before me, they said, yeah, the winds were up to like 120 miles an hour. I said, man, when I went through there, it was 70. So I don't know. Double that is crazy.
Wow. Wow. Let's do this real quick. Hey, again, I want everybody that are viewing this video today, that's going to be watching this video, I want you to understand what PopOff did. You got to have it together, man. You got to have it together. You got to have a lot of confidence. You got to have a lot of competence. You've got to be relatively healthy. You've got to be mentally in tune, because you had a lot of things that could have said, man, you know what? I think I'm checking out. I mean, hurricanes, major bike breakdowns and issues, and to have the wherewithal to say, you know what? No, we're going to keep the party going. I'm going to get another bike, a bike unbeknownst to me. And I'm going to get on this bike and I'm going to continue to roll up through the Yukon and through Alaska. That wasn't meant to be convenient or comfortable. Am I correct?
It's not. It's definitely, when they say challenge, it is meant to take you out of your comfort zone. I think they said over 12 or 13 people started on one bike and ended on another bike.
Wow. You got to be ready.
So far, the count, I think, is 167 have crossed the finish line out of 230.
Yeah.
And the last one.
So starting roughly what is about, just a rough number, about 300 plus.
It was about 230, 240 riders.
Okay. Wow.
And 160, I'm gonna say 167 because the last lady she crossed, Dinah, she crossed like yesterday.
Wow. Well, let's do this PopOff, because I know it can't keep you off forever. Let's do this. Let's do our last segment, and let's go. We'll call this the good, the bad, the ugly of the Hoka Hey challenge, and things that you want us to take away from your great ride. You got the floor. Let's go.
Good, bad, ugly. So let's see. Good, I'm going to say it's an amazing fellowship. I met some amazing people that I'll probably have contact with probably for the rest of my riding life, or life as it is. The network obviously has grown as far as resources or people in different countries, not just different states, for assistance. The bad, I can't really say it's bad because it's part of the experience. The bad is me being disappointed in my bike going down. The ugly is is feeling discouraged, but it goes back to the good and having a good support system that wouldn't let you beat yourself up. You know, there was a couple people that like was just like, well, when I had an issue, they were just like, well, maybe you should just think about 2026 and hang it up. And I'm just like, yeah, I ain't built like that. You know, like, um, and then there was everybody else that knew me or knew what the goal was and knew what I wanted, and probably even what they wanted to see was see me finish, that continued to encourage me and um wanted to help. There's somebody in Alaska that was willing to fly a plane with a battery. Like, I don't know anybody that owns a plane, but now I do. Apparently. So like I think those are some of the biggest takeaways. And then the fact that if there are people that are interested in the Hoka Hey, just do your research, man. I don't know too many riders that have completed the Hoka Hey that are going to recommend it for people. I know probably one or two people that I foresee in the near future, in the next few years, participating in the challenge just because they talked to me about it. I'm not recommending it for somebody, but it is true from the riders before me that say, basically, they say few are called, or many are called, but few are chosen. So after completing it and going through all that, I better understand what that means coming from other Hoka Hey riders, because it's not something for everybody, but it's something for somebody that wants to challenge themselves on that level, and complete it. And understand it's not going to Alaska every year. It's
Yeah.
going to go someplace different.
So, what was your main purpose to do the Hoka Hey? Was it to challenge yourself? Was it to, I want to see the world, I want to do some extreme stuff on a motorcycle? What was your main reason?
I feel like I already have extreme stories on motorcycles. I think it was like a personal challenge to be able to, when I was told paper navigation, like no GPS, no, what is this thing I got in this drawer? No Garmin's, no nothing, right? And it's just like straight paper. I was like, man, I haven't used paper directions since maybe my 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
been a minute for me. It's been a minute. Yeah.
I was just like, that's a challenge in itself. I want to see if I can do that, and then be able to do it for an extended period of time. Like, I think we had atlases in our bikes. Like, we open up a book in the Yukon and be like, well, we're supposed to be on this road. This is the road. Okay, we're on the right track. Like, actually being able to read an atlas
Yeah.
and know what you're looking at. I think the challenge in being able to read navigation, I already love sleeping on the tent, experiencing something different, because you're gonna see I feel like on a motorcycle we see the world differently than in a car. In a car we speed past stuff. We don't pay attention to a lot of stuff. But on a motorcycle, and I've been doing this for so many years, where it's like something catches my attention, I just pull off the road. I'm like, oh, I want to go check this out.
Yeah.
I think our vision is different on a motorcycle for us to see that. In back roads and roads that I haven't been on, like, there was so much that I've seen. It's just like, this is amazing. Like, now I understand why, people ride back roads, or why there are those people that are the Facebook group that has
That's
that.
true. Yeah.
You know,
I wasn't a big fan of back roads, but I'm becoming a fan of it.
and
'Cause that's where the things are to see in America, on the back roads. Yeah.
there's a lot to see on the back roads, and they're amazing out here in Europe. So I got used to the back roads because it's like, it's better than the Autobahn where everybody's going 100 plus miles an hour.
Well, I saw you. I want to say I saw you maybe a little over a year and a half ago. Didn't you do a big ride in Europe when you went through like 6 or 7 countries? I know it was. What was that about? Was that just on a humbug? Hey, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna get it in.
So since being out here, I rode 18 countries in Europe,
Yeah.
open borders. I went to the Harley Festival in Budapest,
Okay.
the year before last, and then after that, I had bought tickets to a music festival in Portugal, so I decided to ride down to Portugal.
Wow.
And then came back up through Italy. My sister was in an art class in Italy for a few days, so I went to see my sister. So it was like different stops that took me through obviously multiple countries, but riding out here is absolutely beautiful. Like I try to get people to come out here and visit and be like, man, come out here, rent a bike or borrow a bike from one of my Hog chapter members, and we'll go ride. But it's absolutely beautiful out here.
Hey, most of us on the weekend we say, man, I'm gonna go on over to Atlanta for the weekend. Hey, PopOff says you're going to Budapest.
Right.
Yeah, how do you compete with that, man? That's all. Hey, Bolo say, what's next for PopOff, especially after completing the Hoka Hey? What do you got next?
What is next? So personally, I got another class that started. So I'm in 2 classes right now for my master's degree. I got 4 classes left after that. Master's degree. What else? Motorcycling. I pick up my bike because my bike that's out here is at Harley down in Regensburg getting its full checkup because it's about to hit 100K. So they're doing all that stuff. I think we have Prague Harley Days is coming up. So I'm sure my Hog chapter out here is going to go to that. And then 2025, I come back for an internship. So I should be around in the area to be able to participate in some of the motorcycle events I miss over the
Nice, yeah.
So I'll be able to make it to the all-female ride in Jacksonville. I should be able to make it to the Rendezvous. And then what else is out there? There's a few other things I want to try. I want to try.
Iron Elite. I would love to have you come down for Iron Elite and rock with us. Because what you did is Iron Elite stuff. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Got to make it to Iron Elite. And yes, I was doing my homework during the Hoka Hey because I had a class.
She was doing classwork and doing Hoka Hey. Oh my God.
Stop at a gas.
Hey, I can't say that, man. I can't mess with it. Awesome stuff.
Maybe finish doing retirement. Once I retire, man, hey, it's just gonna be me riding, I guess. If I don't have any kids for now, 2026, I'm just gonna be out here and be like, hey, Solo, so where we going next?
Nice. Hey, nice. I cannot wait. I cannot wait till you get back. I cannot wait to see you out there on the highways and the network. I mean, this whole thing, man, is a blast to me. It's a beautiful thing. All the people that we're meeting in this whole Iron Elite get down, the Hoka Hey get down, the Ride to Eat get down. It's the next generation of stuff for me, man. So, it's been a pleasure having you on today. Let me just do this real quick. Let me do this. I'm going to say this, PopOff, because of people like you, we're going to become better motorcycle riders each and every day. For people like you sharing your stories, sharing your goods, bads, and the ugly, and showing us with a little wherewithal, with a little, mental fortitude, how we can accomplish the greatest things on motorcycling behind handlebars. So with that being said, man, any last words you'd like to leave us with before we let you go?
Hey, man, just ride safe and don't forget to take the pictures. Don't
forget to take the pictures. So is PopOff number 1179? Is that your number forever and ever? Amen.
Hey, it's waiting on the 2024 list to come out. So we're waiting for them to publish it on the website. Once they publish that list, we know we are official.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So we appreciate you, PopOff. Take care. Much love. Enjoy Germany. And come on back home to America. We need you.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye. Peace. All right, man. There you have it, man. PopOff, man, and done the doggone Hoka Hey challenge, man. Some crazy I think she had totally over 11,000 miles, man, just doing her thing. Her bike, the road glide went down, so she had to get a Pan American, a whole brand new different bike to finish this challenge, man, and she got it done. Hey, I'm just telling you, man, the Iron Elite podcast, we bring on nothing but champions, the greatest motorcycle riders on the planet. I've been telling y'all that, man. Peep game on this. If you enjoy what we do on the platform, please share it with a friend. Tell folks what we're doing here. We're just trying to create a network of motorcycle riders who want to be the best motorcycle riders they can be. And they want to encourage one another to do some of the coolest stuff on motorcycles, man. So keep it locked in with us, man. We're going to have more and more of this coming up. I'm going to have some ladies also next Sunday. Locking in next Sunday. I believe that's September the 8th. We're going to talk about their Hoka Hey ride. I'm going to have 4 ladies that successfully made their ride, man. So we're going to keep doing it over and over. So I hope you guys are having a great Labor Day. For my riders, again, that are coming in from the 3 flags, be safe on the road, man. I think as I was doing the show, Low Key reached out to me, man. So much love to those guys. Big Sail Queen coming in, man. Much love to everybody who's trying to make it back home from the West Coast to their place of origin, man. So I think with that, hey, man, y'all stand by. We're going to be announcing the 2025 Titans soon. So stand by for that, man. I can't wait. I'm excited. Man, my judges got some work to do. I'm just going to tell you guys that now. Other than that, Iron Elite event, February 7th and 8th, 2025. Man, if you have not got your host hotel room yet, you better go ahead and get that room, man, and stop playing around. The event is going to be nice. The event is going to be fly. We're going to have a great time celebrating us on motorcycles, man. So that's what it is. So other than that, man, I don't think your boy Sarge got much else, man. So I'm going to let everybody go and do their thing, man. And I'm going to go find out what I need to be getting done today, man. So in the meantime, in between time, man, y'all keep it motorcycling, you dig?
reminding you to tune in to the Iron Elite podcast. You dig?
Hey man, this is your boy Sarge. I don't care what nobody says. Earth, Wind, and Fire is the greatest group in the history of this world. You dig? I know. Sarge, is motorcycling the only thing you talk about? Is motorcycling the only thing you care about? Nope, I care about the Jacksonville Jaguars too.